Good morning, children. Today we are going to read an interesting and thoughtful story, The Hundred Dresses. It has two parts and it is written by Eleanor State, who was an American children's author. Obviously, also she was a librarian. The Hundred Dresses is a story based on the real experience of the writer who, being a librarian, closely observed the students of a school and their thoughts. This story also conveys the strong injustice of society as racial discrimination and ragging bullying. Since American school has no concept of uniform, that is why the children are coming in their civil dresses. And this is also one of the bases on which the children are bullied regularly. Simultaneously, the immigrants who have arrived in America, specifically at the time of Second World War, they are not easily accepted by the local American people till date. And Wanda Petronsky, who is actually the representative of the Polish community, although they have shifted to America many years back, but still they are facing the racial discrimination. Now, one of the most notable Polish American community, it is in Chicago and its suburbs. In fact, sometimes people call Chicago the second largest Polish city in the world, which is next to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. And Polish Americans are most of the time discriminated against in United States as were in Irish, Italians and Jews. Now in this story, we are also going to see one example which happened in this school. Story is about quiet and shy girl named Wanda Petronsky, who is a Polish immigrant and who had come to America with her family. She attended a school with American children and they found her name to be strange and probably the weirdest in the classroom. Why? Because her name was a little different, peculiar. She was also poor and always used to wear a particular type of dress. Now, all these reasons were quite enough to make her an object of fun for the entire class. As well as she also used to claim that she has 100 dresses all lined up in her closet. I'll bet they have never seen her wearing any of them. We have two more important characters in this story. They are known as Peggy and Madeline. Peggy was the most famous girl in school and she started all the fun game. She is not only pretty but quite rich also. Whereas Madeline, who is also known as Maddie, she is very closely connected to Peggy because she herself is poor. But why she is never favoring Wanda? Because she never wanted other children of her class to shift their attention to her instead of Wanda. So in a way she is being a little selfish. So this story revolves around these three characters. Although Wanda Petronsky is not presented in the story, she is a passive character, you may say. Peggy and Maddie, they they are always in the story, and we will also see the growth of those characters. In fact, Madeline, she realizes her mistake and how she transforms herself. This is the highlight of the story. Now, this story is going to create a kind of thought in your mind so that you will be able to ponder that why it is happening in this school and why children are still believing in this kind of ragging and bullying, which is sometimes not only mentally, physically, but ethically not good for any of us. So let's begin the story. I will read the lines and explain it. Today, Monday, Wanda Petronsky was not in her seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, The girls who started all the fun noticed her absence. Now, Wanda was not very famous schoolgirl. Nobody ever noticed whether she's present or not. So today, Monday, when she was absent, nobody noticed. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. The corner of the room where there was most shuffling of feet, most roars of laughter, when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. Now, with whom she was sitting actually? She used to sit in the corner where not so academically brilliant children used to sit. In fact, they were quite loud guys. And it was the most dirtiest part of the classroom. Now, why she was sitting there? No, she was not so rough or noisy. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, on the opposite, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. Now, Wanda was not sitting over there because she was the most, talkative or loud girl of the class. But it has become a routine thing that she used to be very silent, but generally she used to sit there. Now, why Wanda has this? Wanda, because sometimes maybe she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of a smile, but that was all. Means there was nothing so peculiar about her. But still people are making fun of her. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Boggins Heights, and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky once he sat in the corner of the room. Now, Wanda was nothing like those boys. Still, people are having those confusion. But basically, they have their guesses that since he comes from the Boggins Heights, which was usually very dirty and not a nice area, not so rich area, so perhaps because of those reasons he used to sit there. Now, they never think about Wanda. Wanda was the most unpopular girl of the class. But the time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours, at noon time, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the school yard. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. Now, please note it down. Whenever the writer is writing to have fun with her, instead of that, you can simply use to make fun of her. No, definitely, they did not want to have fun with her. They are always making fun of her. So that is why when the school began or when the school ended, at that time, students used to wait for her because they love to make fun of her. And that was all. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. Again, Tuesday came, but nobody noticed that she is not present. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children, who got good marks, and who didn't track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda wasn't there. But the third day came when the Wednesday arrived. Peggy and Maddie were worried that why she has not come, not because that they sincerely were missing her, but they had their own reasons. Peggy was the most popular girl in the class, in the school. She was pretty, she had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly. Since there is no concept of uniform in American schools, so that is why those every day they are coming in civil uniforms. So their dresses are also a way to find out that which class they belong. And Peggy, in that reason, she was quite famous in her school because she has pretty clothes also, her hair was curly, and she was pretty also. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Mary noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. Now, why Wanda had made them late to school? What was the reason? Why they were waiting for her? What was that? That is the thing. They had waited and waited for Wanda to have some fun with her. That was the reason. Again, I'm telling you, to have some fun with her, you can simply say to make fun of her. And she just hadn't come. So actually, before reaching to the school, at a particular corner, they used to wait for her. And whenever she was arriving there, they used to make fun of her. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her, or you can say to make fun of her. Now, who was Wanda Petronsky? Although we know about her, Wanda Petronsky, most of the children in room 13, that was the classroom, didn't have names like that. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith, or Alan. There was one boy named Willie Bouncy, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. Now, this is also a thing that children were making fun of her. Children were making fun of her, their peculiar names. They used to, because her name was little different, which was not like any common name, like Thomas Smith or Alan or Mary, Peggy. No, it was not like that. Earlier, they were making fun of Bouncy, Willie Bounce. But now, when the Petronsky was there, they found it most amazing and funny name. Wanda didn't have many friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. In fact, instead of many, we should write any. Wanda didn't have any friends, many friends, nothing. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. Hang right means it was not even fitting properly. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. Although she was wearing a clean dress, that's true, but they never felt that it has been ironed properly. So that was also a reason. And she didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Now, what is this contradictory idea? That although she has no friends, but why lot of girls like to talk to her? Because they all are participating in the fun game which Peggy had started. Sometimes they surrounded her in the school yard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch, it's a game, on the worn hard ground. Wanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. And Peggy started. Every day it is a custom that Peggy started the game. And you know how she started it? In a most courteous manner, as if she's talking to the teacher. Wanda, Wanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge. Nudge, you know, elbowing or a push. Yes, listen, now I'm starting the game, so come on, please pay attention. And then she used to say, tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? 100, Wanda would say. And without any second thought, without any hesitation, Wanda answers, 100. 100? Exclaimed all the little girls incredulously. Incredulously means unbelievingly. And the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. And now, as I told you, the game starts. The game begins. And everybody started looking at her. Why is she saying 100, although every day she is wearing the same blue faded dress? Yeah, 100 all lined up. And Wanda said Wanda. But Wanda has no hesitation, as if this is the most, real thing. And she is accustomed of speaking this again and again. So she used to say, yes, I have 100 dresses. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. But Peggy did not stop here. She keeps on taunting her that I think they all are silk. Yeah, all silk, all color. And Wanda with utmost confidence, she used to say, yes, all colors, all silk. Velvet too? Yeah, velvet too. Oh, 100 dresses. So now and again she was emphasizing, yes, 100 dresses. Wanda would repeat stolidly. Stolidly here means as if she is not lying, as if she has no feeling. Means it's a very common thing for her to say that she had 100 dresses. Nothing very peculiar, nothing very strange. So simply she was saying. Then they would let her go, and then before she would gone very far, they couldn't help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. And as soon as she was leaving the place, the entire bunch of girls used to laugh out loud on her. Why? Because they always feel that 100 dresses? Obviously, the only dress Wanda had was the blue one she wore every day. So why did she say she had 100? Oh, what a story. Now that was their reaction. Okay, why she is always telling a lie, although she is wearing only one single dress. And now the game did not stop here. They started asking her regarding shoes. Another day, another game. How many shoes did you say you had? 60 pairs, all lined up in the closet. And again, in the same confident manner, Wanda would reply that yes, 60 pairs I'm having, all lined up in the closet. And cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this. See, this is the oxymoron. Exaggeration also, but politeness also. So exaggerated, in a very exaggerated manner, they are being very polite. And this is all alike? Oh no, every pair is different. All colors, all lined up. And she never hesitated in saying this. Yes, Peggy, who had thought up this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. As I told you, this game was started by Peggy, and her inseparable friend was none other than Maddie. They always enjoyed this game and they were last to leave. Finally, Wanda would move up the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in the funny way she had, finishing the walk to school alone. Now this, as I told you, that it was a custom. Every day they were making fun of her, and Wanda has become the part of that. I don't know what she might be thinking, what she might be going through, the mental trauma, but she never showed it to them. Perhaps she was very strong, and that's why she never cried before them, or whatever is the reason, but it was happening again and again. Now, Madeline is trying to justify Peggy. She says Peggy was not really cruel. She protected the small children from bullies and she cried for hours if she saw an animal mistreated. Now, here the writer is also trying to justify the statement that, yeah, Peggy is not a cruel girl. She has her own ways. Rather, she used to help small children who are being bullied by others, whereas she herself is bullying whom? Wanda. But she has no justification. Whenever she sees that an animal is mistreated, she used to cry. If anybody has said to her, don't you think that is a cruel way to treat Wanda? She would have been very surprised. Cruel? Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? Now, this is her way of justifying the things. When anyone was asking, why did you do this to Wanda? She said, no, I'm not doing anything. Why is she always saying that, yes, I have 100 dresses, although she hadn't? So why she's always lying? Anybody could tell that that was a lie. Why did she learn to lie? And she wasn't just an ordinary person. Else, why did she have a name like that? And thereafter, she was also saying that why she is having such a peculiar and strange name like Petronsky. Anyway, they never made her cry. Now, here we will have a contradictory idea. Whether they did not make her cry or vice versa, you can also say that Wanda was such a strong-headed girl that she never cried before these girls. Rather, she took it sportingly because she was knowing her abilities, she was knowing her qualities. But in this manner, the days were moving away. As for Maddie, this business of asking Wanda every day how many dresses and how many hats and how many this and that she had was bothering her. Maddie was poor herself. Now we are coming to this point that Maddie, although she participated in this fun game, but she was never an active participation. She never participated actively. Why? And it was rather bothering her also. She did not like this, but she has no guts to say no anything to Peggy. You know, the reason was Mary was poor herself. She usually wore somebody's hand-me-down clothes, means someone's second-hand clothes. Thank goodness she didn't live up on Bergens Heights or have a funny name. But one good thing she was having, although she was poor, but she was not residing in that area, Bergens Heights, or maybe she has no funny name. She was an American, so definitely she has no funny name. She was not an immigrant. So basically, because of all these reasons, it was happening. Sometimes when Peggy was asking Wanda who's those questions in that mocking, polite voice, mocking also but polite voice, Maddie felt embarrassed and studied the marbles in the palm of her hand, rolling them around and saying nothing herself. I told you that although she remained presented at the time of this fun game, but she was not active. She was not saying anything. But you know, you cannot forgive her for this also because she was a mute spectator. And if you are not intervening in any of the illegal, unethical things are happening before you, in a way you are also participating, you are also encouraging. So although she never said anything, but she was the part of that game. Not that she felt sorry for Wanda exactly. She would never have paid any attention to Wanda if Peggy hadn't invented the dresses game. Rather, she is saying this, that Wanda is such an ordinary girl that if this game would not have been invented, they would have never paid any attention to her. She's such an ordinary girl coming to the school, sitting in somewhere in the corner of the class. But Peggy, in a way, made her popular by making this or beginning this fun game. But suppose Peggy and all the other started in on her next. What will happen? Now there is one, in a way, Maddie was selfish. She always used to think that if she will stop this game, their attention would shift to her. And the moment this attention would be shifting to her, she will become an object of this fun game because she herself was poor. Although that's true that she wasn't as poor as Wanda, perhaps, but she was poor. That's true. Of course, she would have more sense than to say she had 100 dresses. But yeah, she's justifying her statement here. That she will not speak as Wanda used to speak, the weird things, that she had 100 dresses, although she has never wore anything else except that blue faded dress. So she is that much sensible girl that she will not speak. Still, she would not like for them to begin on her, but she did not want to shift their attention to her. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Petronsky. But yeah, that was somewhere hidden in her heart, in the corner of her mind, to stop teasing Wanda Petronsky. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad she had not had to make fun of Wanda. Thank God Wanda was absent for last so many days. So that's, in a way, it was giving her a solace, a relaxation. We thank God they will not be able to make fun of Wanda. She worked her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly. 8 times 8, let's see. She wished she had the nerve to write Peggy a note because she knew she never would have the courage to speak right out to Peggy to say, "Hey Peg, let's stop asking Wanda how many dresses she has." When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. Now that very day, something happened. Maybe she decided that today she will say, Apex, let's stop all these games. But one thing she was knowing, that she will never be able to collect the courage, that she will never have this to and muster up the courage and say, okay, Peg, stop this game. So she decided that she will write a note to her, a letter to her. But suddenly she paused and shuddered. Yeah, she was trembling. She was a little shaky. Why? Because now she pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on, and Maddie would have to say it was one of the Peggy's old ones that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with new trimmings so no one in the room 13 would recognize it. And all of a sudden, when she decided to write a note, something happened. She started trembling. She started picturing herself that she is standing in the middle of that bunch of the girls group and everyone is making her fun and they are asking, from where did you get this dress? And actually that dress was second hand dress. Most of them were of Peggy's. Thank God her mother was a quite very qualified lady, that she used to disguise the dress and she used to add some trimmings, and she has that quality of altering the dress, and that's why no one was able to recognize it. If only Peggy would decide to her own accord to stop having fun with Wanda, oh, how the things will be good. So she thought that one day maybe Peggy would decide, okay, fine, let's stop. For how long? I'm not against this all kind of fun games. Sometimes it is good, maybe for one day or maybe for 2 days. But for so many days, you are bullying person and you are not even exhausted, tired. Oh well, Maddie ran her hand through her short blonde hair as though to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. No, 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 she cannot imagine herself. So she decided, no, I will not stop this fun game. Otherwise, the attention will be shifted to me. So she simply removed that thoughts. What difference did it make? Now she again is justifying. Slowly, Maddie tore into bits the note she had started. She was Peggy's best friend, and Peggy was the best liked girl in the whole room. No, no, no. She cannot go against Peggy because Peggy is the most popular girl of this entire class. Peggy could not possibly do anything that was really wrong, she thought. And again, she is saying, Peggy is a nice girl. So, on the whole, she cannot do anything wrong. As for Wanda, she was just some girl who lived up on the Boggins Heights and stood alone in the schoolyard. So why the hell I'm caring for Wanda, who is a normal girl, just some girl, a normal girl, who lives in Boggins Heights and who is very alone standing in the corner of a yard. She scarcely ever said anything to anybody, but yeah, she never interrupted, she never said anything to. Just imagine how much trauma she might be going through, but she never said anything. Who? Wanda. She was a quiet girl who tolerated everything, all the fun games, all the misbehavior. The only time she talked was in the schoolyard about her 100 dresses. And Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses, pale blue with colored trimmings, and she remembered another that was brilliant jungle green with her red sash. Oh, you would look like a Christmas tree in that, the girls had said in the pretended admiration. Again, an oxymoron. Pretending as if they are admiring, but they are actually not admiring her, they are making fun of her. So basically, Wanda is always quiet. But whenever they are asking regarding her dresses, at that time one can see the sparkle in her eyes and how flawlessly she will keep on talking about her dresses. Because that was her quality. Later on, you will come to know. Thinking about Wanda and her 100 dresses all lined up in the closet, Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. Now, something had happened in the school. There was a drawing contest, and everyone has, obviously, they had made a drawing. So, now the time has come when they are going to get the result. For girls, this contest consisted of designing dresses and for boys of designing motorboats. Probably Peggy would win the girls' medal. Again, this is the thought of Maddie that definitely Peggy would win. Why? Peggy drew better than anybody else in the room. At least that's what everybody thought. She could copy a picture in a magazine or some film star's head so that you could almost tell who it was. Now, Peggy has one quality. She was not an artist, but yes, she is very good in imitating things. So everyone knows that this is her quality, and because of that, maybe she would win. Oh, Maddie was sure Peggy would win. Well, tomorrow the teacher was going to announce the winners, then they would know. Anyway, tomorrow the results will be out. So they all are going to know that who will be winning this contest. The next day it was drizzling. Maddie and Peggy hurried to school under Peggy's umbrella. Naturally, on a day like this, they didn't wait for Wanda Petronsky on the corner of Oliver Street, the street that far, far away, under the railroad tracks and up the hill, led to Vaughan's Heights. That day it was raining also, and the result of drawing contest was also going to be announced. So they decided they will not wait that very day. Maybe they have an idea that maybe Wanda will not come even today. They did not wait. Anyway, they weren't taking chances on being late today because today was important. Do you think Miss Mason will announce the winners today? Asked Peggy. Oh, I hope so. The minute we get in, said Maddie. Of course you will win, Peg. And see, how she is. This is not friendship. This is flattering. And friends cannot be flatterers. But Maddie is like that. She said, oh, I wish not only the results will be announced, rather you are also going to win the contest. Hope so, said Peggy eagerly. The minute they entered the classroom, they stopped, short and gasped. Why? There were drawings all over the room, on every ledge and windowsill, dazzling colors and brilliant, lavish designs, all drawn on great sheets of wrapping paper. The entire class was decorated. Everywhere there were some designs hanging on the ledge windowsill, dazzling colors, bright colors, lavish designs, gorgeous designs, and all drawn on great sheets of wrapping paper. There must have been 100 of them, 100 dresses. Yes, 100 designs all lined up as it used to be lined up in the closet of Wanda Petronsky. These must be the drawings for the contest. They were. Everybody stopped and whistled or murmured admiringly, whistling a gesture to show that wow, what a wonderful design it is. Everyone was admiring thing. As soon as the class had assembled, classes started, Miss Wesson announced the winner. Jack Biggles had won for the boys, she said, and his design for an outboard motor was an exhibition in room 12. So Jack Biggles, he won the boys contest, and his design is being exhibited in room 12 along with the sketches of all the other boys. As for the girls, she said, although just one or two sketches were submitted by most, one girl and room 13 should be proud of her. This one girl actually drew 100 designs, all different and all beautiful. And finally, Miss Mason spoke. And while speaking, she was feeling so thrilled, so proud that although they were asked to submit one or two designs, but one girl in this room 13 submitted not only one design, 100 designs, all different, all beautiful. And in the opinion of judges, any one of the drawings is worthy of winning the prize. Any design is good. Worthy means each and every design is better than other one. And I'm very happy to say that Wanda Petronsky is the winner of girls medal. And finally she announced that this contest is won by Wanda Petronsky, none other than Wanda Petronsky. She submitted 100 designs. and each and every design is very beautiful. You cannot say that this is good or this is better. They all are so good. Unfortunately, Wanda has been absent from school for some days and is not here to receive the applause that is due to her. But unfortunately, as we all know, that she was not present. Anyway, it's due to her. Let us hope she will be back tomorrow. Now, class, you may file around the room quietly and look at her exquisite drawings. So, since each and every dress, each and every drawing was unique and it was exquisite, extremely beautiful, different, no one can say this is better or that is better. So, anyway, whenever she will come back to school, she will get her due applause. And the children burst into applause. And even the boys were glad to have a chance to stamp on the floor, stamping, again a gesture, to show that yes, she is the best. Put their fingers in their mouths and whistle, though they were not interested in dresses. Boys are generally not interested, but yeah, the drawings were so exquisite, in fact, so unique that they could not stop themselves to praise that. Look, Peg, whispered Maddie. There is that blue one she told us about. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, said Peggy. And here is that green one. Boy, and I thought I could draw. Anyway, Peg and Maddie, they were utterly puzzled, surprised, full of admiration because they were really astonished to see the wonderful creativity of that girl who had always been quiet. People used to make fun of her, rather they were the people, specifically Peggy. Anyway, the story first part ends with a positive note by Peggy when she says, "Oh, see those beautiful dresses," how she was talking about it, and I thought I could draw. Means I always having that feeling that I could draw, although she is the girl who know what is the real drawing. So the first part ends with this positive note by Peggy. Thank you, children.